Is Governor Abbott in a standoff with the federal government? Topo Chico, is it hard to get here in the state of Texas? The infrastructure deal was recently passed by the Senate. How would it affect Brownsville, Texas? Robin Hood, stealing from the rich, stealing from the poor, stealing from the rich, giving it to the poor. The trading app appeared on the IPO on the Nasdaq yesterday. How did it do? And BISD will be going to in-person instruction. All these stories today on Good Morning Brownsville. It's Friday, July 30th, 7:01 a.m. My name is Frankie Olivo. Thank you for tuning in. Where's the tie? It's Friday, casual Friday. Um, just I'm gonna be doing different things on Friday. I'm gonna have different backgrounds, no tie, um, just just different things on Friday. Nobody watches anyways. Who's up on Friday at 7 in the morning, right? But thanks for being here, Erasmo. We've had a lot of rain this July. We've had over 10 inches of rain for the city of Brownsville, the highest that we've had in a while without it being a tropical cyclone. Today, Brownsville will be at 79 degrees in the morning. Throughout the day, we should be in the low to mid 90s. We should see some rain after lunch. The weekend should be sunny. One thing I wanted to talk about very very quickly is that uh, we are experiencing, which is something normal. We are experiencing a high level of bacteria at our beaches. We just got word that one of Sapadri Island's great skippers, a captain, recently had his leg amputated because he contracted this bacteria out at sea. And as we all know, the skippers, those out in the boats daily, are the first ones that contract this bacteria, and then possibly have to deal with the consequences. So we do warn the public, if you do have an open sore, a cut, try to avoid the beach as much as possible. There has been among the fishermen this talk that many individuals are dealing uh, with with bacteria on their flesh, and it just starts eating at it. Good morning, Ruli. Thank you for tuning in, my man. How's it going? Happy Friday. ¿Qué vas a hacer hoy? ¿Cómo va tu fin hasta ahorita? ¿Tienes planes o no? Gracias por estar aquí, Ruli. Love you, man. So we are dealing with bacteria. Just be very, very careful. Again, this is something normal. I've spoken to my fishermen friends. This is something normal that we deal with on a very consistent basis. We just have to be mindful of protecting ourselves and not going into the water in case we do have any cuts. Dak Prescott, we are around the corner. Preseason starts this coming Thursday. We did get a little scare yesterday. Dak Prescott did sit out of practice. He is dealing with a sore shoulder, a strained arm. It bothered him throughout practice the day before yesterday. It was a little. I'm saying it's a little scary because we saw the horrific injury that Dak dealt with against the Giants, and how that set back the Dallas Cowboys. Now that they will be on Hard Knocks on HBO, we were frightened to hear the news that he was injured, but all is well. He's just going to take a day off of practice, and hopefully he'll be ready to go soon. Also, big news in the NBA. Westbrook is headed to the Los Angeles Lakers, and the rich keep on getting richer. It seems that LeBron James always gets his way in LA or anywhere he goes, for that matter. So Westbrook will be joining LeBron James and AD. Let's let's see how they manage in the West. Frankie nos ignora, mi Ruli. No, I don't. Good morning, Peppermint Patty. How's it going? Happy Friday. Hope you have a good day. Looking good with no glasses. I try to mix it up. Everybody always makes fun of me because I always have different looks whenever I let my beard grow. when I wear my glasses, when I'm right now with my contacts. Just a different look for whatever I'm feeling. I prefer the scruffy look. I don't like the clean look, but thanks for noticing that. Happy Friday. Uh, a special shouts out to Coach Alex Lucio. Coach Alex Lucio was just named the varsity female coach for the Lady Falcons. We know Alex Lucio for many, many years. We have seen him as a player and now as a coach. And way back then, we always saw that he had a special talent. He was a great motivator, and now he is doing it with our local youth here in Los Fresnos. Um, he had much success at Los Fresnos coaching the JV um, and the varsity. Personally, he coached my cousin Gabriel and my cousin Jerry. And now, being the female coach, he's going to be coaching my cousin Alexis, who is a incoming freshman. I hate to brag, but as a freshman, she is already practicing, and hopefully, if needed, she will be suiting out with the lady varsity team if needed. Again, a lot of hard work has to be put into play for Alexis to ultimately get there. But it's exciting for Coach Alex uh, to get this great accomplishment under his belt. It is well deserved. I personally am biased to Mr. Alex Lucio because I saw him firsthand in the locker rooms, his preparation, and then I get to see him now actually on the hardwood as a head coach. So congratulations to Alex Lucio. We wish you much success um, as a Lady Falcons head coach. Topo Chico. Do we drink Topo Chico? Uh, I got this weird feeling that why is they're saying that there's a shortage out for Topo Chico in the state of Texas. Recently, Topo Chico has been making waves because of their seltzer. Now everybody, all types of brand, Budweiser, Sol, beers that Coors Light that you would never think are now coming out with the new hip thing of seltzers. White Claws has been a preferential drink for many people nowadays. I personally have never tried the seltzers, but Topo Chico recently got into this market, and now what they are claiming that there is a shortage. It got me thinking. Now with chips are in shortage. Laptops because of the pandemic. Laptops, everything electronic, cameras. There seems to be a shortage of this out in supply. And Topo Chico, according to the news release that they provided, uh, is the same for them. That there is a shortage. But it got me thinking. Do you remember the last time we heard of a company stating that they can't keep up with demand, that there's just overwhelmed, and that there isn't enough supply to go around because there is a mad craze for their product? And it all goes back to Popeyes. Remember Popeyes a couple years ago when it made the news? Everybody was talking about it because they were competing with Chick-fil-A. Their president came on social media, on the TV. He was even on financial news stating that Popeyes Popeyes was not able to produce enough chicken sandwiches. That the demand was so high that they weren't able to fulfill the need. And guess what happened? Uh, Everybody rushed to Popeyes. We saw the long lines that people were staying 30, 45 minutes, an hour in line just to try this new product. It got me thinking, is that what Topo Chico is doing? Because that's a genius move. If you say that there isn't enough of something, it just creates demand. It just makes the public more interested in your product. And people will stay. If you tell somebody you can't get it, it's like a child. They're going to do it. There's that analogy. Do not put your hand on the stove. And what does a kid do? He's putting his hand on the stove. So that's what got me thinking: is this a great PR move by Topo Chico, that they are stating, "Oh, our product is not available. It's going to be hard to get. We're going to be whenever we go to Walmart, HEB, we're going to be looking. We're going to be looking to see if we can find those Topo Chicos." Looking sharp. Have a blessed day, Vela. Have a blessed day. Thank you so much. Happy Friday. It should be a beautiful day. God bless. Thank you so much. Good morning, Salinas. How's it going? Appreciate you for watching me on YouTube. All my friends in YouTube, I know they're not many. I'm trying to build up my page. Hit the like button, subscribe. You'll get notifications of anytime we come on. We have dedicated and allocated the 7 a.m. Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays time slot for Good Morning Brownsville to provide our community with our latest news. Just keep in touch. So if you're on YouTube, please do me a favor and subscribe, like the page, support the cause. Yo tengo bebida para ti, Ruli. Yo no quiero agua, yo quiero bebida. So that got me thinking: is Topo Chico doing what Popeyes did in creating this craze, this hey, we need to go get it, we need to go get it, maybe. And I know if you go to HEB and Walmart today or this weekend, you'll think of me and you're gonna be looking for the Topo Chicos. Can I find Topo Chicos? All it is just water with CO2 mixed into it. It could be tap water for all we know. It probably is. So singing, don't give up your day job. Oh wait, too soon. So if you are out on the grocery store, look for Topo Chico, and if you like Topo Chico, stock up on it. Maybe this is a thing that it is going to be hard to come by. But again, if it is hard to come by, it's expensive. But again, we have seen shortages of chips in electronics recently because of COVID. Is this Topo Chico's way of a PR move of generating interest, making sure that Topo Chico is the topic of discussion, where we're going to want to buy it, we're going to go and see if it's available. We might even buy the new seltzers. Just keep in mind, Topo Chico supposedly is hard to come by. The infrastructure deal. Yesterday, the Senate did vote to advance the bipartisan infrastructure bill, which is much needed. We see how after every recession, the government always comes in and provides jobs, throws money into the economy as much as possible, because we need to create that boom, that spark. We need to circulate that money. How will this affect the city of Brownsville, Texas? For many years, we have been South Texas in our area. We are one of the poorest areas in the nation. For whatever reason, we have not been able to provide economic opportunities for our area. Many people talk about how our youth go off to college and unfortunately don't come back because we do not have those opportunities for them to be able to apply themselves in their fields of study. Cameron County potential candidate Carlos Cascos mentioned how he feels the need that our leaders, our elected officials, those in Austin, in Washington, should do a better job of pushing and advocating for money to be brought down to our local area. He addresses the need for infrastructure, drainage. We need to expand our highways, provide more shelters. And the interesting thing was that he believes in a freight rail system from the valley, from Brownsville to Houston, Austin, Dallas, San Antonio, and even in the valley. This is another source of transportation that he has been advocating for quite some time. So we hope and we will be monitoring to see how this will affect Brownsville, Texas, in the big scope of things. In the infrastructure deal that was passed by the Senate, Biden's bill includes for the federal government to install charging stations for Teslas, for electronic cars throughout the nation. And it got me thinking, the size of Tesla, it is able to create these charging stations wherever they please. They could, I'm sure they're all over Los Angeles, they're all over Dallas, they're all over Houston. They could put them anywhere in the world. But here we see the federal government assisting Tesla and this is actually benefiting Tesla, because if you have more of these stations, you could have more out in production and say, hey, we have your gas stations, or these are electrical charging stations, out throughout the country. So this is something that we do need to advocate for. We do have a position, the congressional 34th district, that is vacant, and we hear rumors of potential candidates. So far, we do have Attorney Rochelle Garza, who has already announced for the Democratic Party. Mayra Flores out of Harlingen, San Benito area has announced as a Republican candidate. We hear rumors and speculations that Judge Jonathan Gracia might throw his hat in the ring of making a bid for Congress. We just hope that our elected officials do everything possible to promote South Texas and bring down the jobs and the economic opportunities that we so desperately need. We have seen how SpaceX has been promising so far, and we hope that this infrastructure deal, with the vast amounts of money that is going to be out there, is allocated and sent down to South Texas. We have a lot of need in our area. Local news. Um, Governor Abbott right now is in campaign mode. He has already received an opponent on the Republican ticket. West West will be challenging Governor Abbott. Uh, and on Wednesday, Abbott signed an executive order which orders DPS officers to stop civilian vehicles carrying migrants, which is a controversial move. Allen West, yes, my boy Allen West. I was going to say George West. It's too early in the morning. We need DACA to be added into the reconciliation bill. Uh, immigration reform. This deals with this perfectly, Ruli. We see here how Governor Abbott is promoting racial profiling of our people, of Hispanics, by giving the authority to the DPS officers of pulling people over. And the interesting part was the reasons behind it. Um, Again, if the trooper suspects that a driver is transporting migrants, that gives the officer probable cause, just a suspicion. Oh, I think that's a Hispanic. Is he carrying somebody who has COVID? And that is the scapegoat. Unfortunately, we see, and our friend John White, never shy of words, how he has been very vocal about the COVID spread being predominantly because of our border town and how many people come and go through our borders because of work, because of school, because of their daily travel. Well, this is no different. Governor Abbott is instructing his officers to racially profile individuals, Hispanics. We know that Texas, 60% of Texas is Hispanics. Um, the U.S. Attorney General did threaten Governor Abbott with litigation. He says that Governor Abbott's order is dangerous and unlawful. Um, so we see a stare down. Who's going to blink first, the federal government or Governor Abbott? We know that this issue is not a state issue. This is on the bigger scheme of things, on immigration reform. We previously saw how back in 2012, Arizona, the state of Arizona, which has been predominantly Republican throughout the years, they wanted to pass, which was shut down by the Supreme Court, wanted to pass the papers please policy, where the sheriff, the local law enforcement in the state of Arizona were able to go up to anybody and request their documentation to see their citizenship, which is unlawful. Again, they were profiling back then, and now we see that here in South Texas, here in the state of Texas, of this unlawful act that is giving the officers that authority, that if they get a hunch, if they suspect that if they see a Hispanic or somebody that is transporting an illegal, that we should pull him over. We should investigate because of COVID. Um, he has also made it illegal to transport illegal immigrants as of late. Here in McAllen, we have a nun and an organization that houses these illegal immigrants whenever they come into contact with them. Good morning, Kat. How's it going? Thank you for tuning in. I appreciate you. I love that you're on YouTube. Again, like, subscribe, if possible. Our YouTube page, we're trying to grow as much as possible. Thank you so much for watching on YouTube, Kat. Hope you have a good day. And this nun was adamant. She says that that the immigrants are being used as a political opportunity, and instead of addressing the real issue, they're just targeting them, and they will continue, according to this nun in McAllen, who provides shelter. They will continue with moving migrants, and that's against the law, obviously, according to this executive order passed by Governor Abbott. Um, how this will affect us moving forward, we will see. Again, we have been very vocal about immigration policy reform being passed on through administration to administration. We have never seemed to get a hold of things, and that is unfortunate. Serious question: what's your opinion of the mayor's bot award? It's an award. I think in these times, the city of Brownsville does need some sort of, we're on the right track. We're on there. I see nothing wrong with it. I hope that our mayor is, and I know that our mayor is working. SpaceX hopefully will be something positive for the city of Brownsville. We will see. I personally don't have an issue with an award, whether he bought it, whether it was earned. It's just a political thing. It's just like, look, I got this accolade. It's not going to do anything to his supporters. I guess just people who support him will continue to support him. I have nothing wrong with it. It is what it is. Whether you pay for it or not, I would have liked it would have come from Austin. That would have been wow. But hey, how does that saying go? Si nadie me tengo que apoyar yo, porque si yo no me apoyo, nadie me va a apoyar. I don't know. That's how I took it. But I'll leave the mayor to you. Good morning, Tremendous. Hope you have a great day, sir. So again, it all goes back to racial profiling. Do we have an immigration battle with the federal government against Texas? Are we on the eyes of the federal government? Again, this is racial profiling. It all goes back to Governor Abbott's stance on the state of Texas. He has been vocal about building a wall in the Del Rio area because of immigration, and now we see him here. Doing an unlawful act, and I'm sure that the federal government will do something about this. I hope they do. Exactly. Everyone passes the buck when it comes to immigration reform. What's good solution? Immigrants traveling to the U.S. suffer and risk their lives. Many die trying to get here, and that's a reality of our lives. Individuals want a slice of the American dream, and they go through, I hate to use this word, but to hell and back, going through the treacherous desert in some cases. Some people come from all the way in Central America, and it is unfortunate, but we do need to be conscious that this is a humanitarian issue. Sorry. This is a humanitarian issue, and we need to understand that these affect the lives of many individuals. So we don't want to sound hard or heartless regarding this issue because it is something uh, near and dear to my heart. I always have a soft spot for individuals who are seeking the American dream, who want to provide their children with the education and the promise of hopefully becoming something out of themselves. I'm all about that. I do promote that, but I do understand that our nation is one of law and order. So this does fall on the federal government to do more. Um, it's unfortunate that Biden has throughout his campaign he's like, oh, I'm Latinos, but he is removing individuals at a faster rate than President Trump. Again, we have seen an influx of thousands of immigrants who are wanting to be detained because in the United States you're going to get released. You're going to get released into the outside world. Before you were detained or you were deported. Now they can't keep up with the backlog, and all these individuals they don't have court dates. But again, it all goes back to the federal government. We need to do a better job of providing some guidance for these individuals. It is a long time coming. Financial news. I know somebody was talking about financial news earlier. Robinhood. Robinhood has been, in my opinion, a great thing for individuals to take control of their financial future. We saw how during this past year and a half, during the COVID-19 pandemic, many individuals and still individuals today continue to suffer economically. Many individuals don't have that opportunity to make a buck. Well, apps like Robinhood changed the game, in my opinion. They put the financial opportunities in our hands. We are able to trade stocks, look at prices, look at stories, see what's out there, the news. This app really encompasses finances, and it allows us to take part of that American dream. Um, Before it was we only could go to brokers to be able to put down our $10,000 and distribute and have it create a profile. Well, now Robinhood does this for us. Um, Again, Robinhood, still from the rich, give to the poor. This is their analogy that they're helping those individuals who don't have that access, who didn't have uh, that opportunity to be able to get rich, to try and get rich, and that's all our goal. That's all our dream. We want to invest in something that eventually is going to bring us back a good return. Well, yesterday they opened their IPOs. They were now officially on Nasdaq, and they opened up at $38. They were valued at 32 billion for the company, and we have seen how they have grown. This is the usership since 2014. They went from having less than 40,000 users to now over close to 13 million users. And in 8 years, they have helped over 13 million people take greater control of their financial lives. And that is something that we all have wanted. And again, this is something that's going to be fluctuating. They did start at $38. Now it's at 34. It still hasn't opened. It's going to open at 8:30 in an hour. But it did suffer its worst. It was one of the worst stocks or expectations out there. Um, the interesting thing was that Snoop Dogg, and Nas, they invested in Robinhood back in the day, back in 2013, when they were trying to get investors, and they were able to get this at 20 cents. Now it's at $34, which is amazing. But again, Robinhood, this is a way to take control of our financial lives. We want to get rich. We want to invest. We want to live that American dream. And this app allows us to. This is something that I use. I personally have been liking and using cryptocurrency, the whole Doge wave, of course. If you are looking into investing a couple bucks, Mark Cuban said that it was better than buying lotto tickets. It's probably more safer buying crypto, investing in the future in 20, 30 years from now than buying a lotto ticket. Now, today's featured story is face-to-face instruction. BISD released a memo stating that the district will be going to face-to-face. The reasons behind it is always about the money. They stated that the Texas legislature provides no funding for school districts that offer virtual learning, and this goes back to last year during the pandemic. We heard, and during the campaign trail, we were very vocal about this. I personally am still in the mindset that we should have an option. Parents should have an option of whether they want to have their children at home, um, or send them off to school. We have seen how Cameron County has seen a resurgence in COVID cases. Just yesterday, Cameron County reported two corona related deaths and 182 positive cases. Hidalgo is on a bigger scale. They reported four coronavirus related deaths and 613 positive cases. We have spoken about how the state of Texas and even throughout the world, we have seen a surge in positive cases. What amount of money is worth the loss of a life? And I hate to use it in that way, but we saw it firsthand. We saw last year during our campaign trail how employees of the district were hospitalized. We were unfortunate to lose a student from Porter because of COVID. And the excuse back then was money. We are not going to get the funds. We need the funds. We are a big district. Um, but we saw how they received $185 million from the federal government. So the federal government just came back and said, "Hey, here's your money." When this whole time they've been saying, "We need to come back. We need to go back," because if not, they're not going to give us money. Morath has already, on the order of the governor, is enforcing face-to-face instruction. But we see how this past year they received close to $200 million when we were optional. Some students were going to school. The majority of the others, they did virtual learning. Again, how much is a life worth? Unfortunately, we just got word yesterday that an employee of BISD at Hannah High School is in ICU because of COVID. They are battling for their lives. This is something that we will be dealing with for the very near future. Board President Eddie Garcia was quoted on Juan Montoya's page of stating that they are aware and they expect students, young children, to contract the virus. As we all know, right now, they are working on a vaccination for infants to 12 years old. Currently, there is not that research. They're still in the process of creating a vaccine. Thankfully, we have the Pfizer, the Johnson and Johnson, who do make it accessible and do recommend for our teenagers, for our youth, to take it, which we have seen, and we encourage our parents to get their children, their loved ones, vaccinated as much as possible. If that is how they feel, they would feel safe. whether sending their kids back to school or having them at home. Again, we've been hearing how the CDC is even recommending how individuals should wear the mask. Unfortunately, our county judges in Hidalgo, Judge Cortez, and down here in Brownsville, in Cameron County, Judge Eddie Trevino, don't have the authority to enforce the mask rule once again. That has been taken away. That has been taken away from them. So again, we see the rise in cases, um, and BISD is still adamant. We need the money. We need finances, and that's what bothers me. Frankie, they for so much money from the federal government, and they choose not to give raises to teachers or to invest in safer environments for students, teachers, and staff. They're hoarding the money, and that's one thing that I was speaking to a friend yesterday. We went out to go eat, and he said, "What about all that money, all that overhead that wasn't spent during COVID season? You have supplies, you have rolls of paper, toilet paper, you have the mechanic, the diesel engine, the gas of the buses, the lights. We weren't using our lights at all these buildings because we weren't in operation. What about all that money that we saved up, plus the 185 that we received from the federal government? We have a budget of $500 million, a Fortune 500 company, $500 million, and we're not able to provide our employees with a competitive and with a much needed raise. We saw how other smaller school districts in the valley were able to give them a higher percentage, based on the median rate. And Brownsville, BISD, being one of the largest school districts south of San Antonio, with a budget of $500 million, we're not able to say, "I appreciate you." Um, Somebody that I love and care for deeply always says, "Don't tell me, show me." And it goes back to the analogy of the kid. If we have a kid, if we have a child, and we say, "We love you, we love you, we love you," but we don't give them money, we don't provide food for them, we don't provide a shelter for them. Our kid is with the neighbor eating food, is with the neighbor getting clothes. What is that kid going to say when he grows up? "You don't love me. You don't care about me. You didn't show me. You didn't give me money when I needed it. You didn't feed me. You didn't give me shelter." Same thing with BISD. Same thing with the district. They don't care for us if they're throwing us peanuts. I think one employee did see a 30-cent increase in their paycheck. This is not a laughing matter. This is the livelihoods of individuals who should be well compensated. So I agree with you, Kat. We need to find ways to make sure that our employees know and recognize that they're appreciated, not through words. Because words, we could all say whatever, but it's with action. With action is what's important. Good morning, Sammy. How's it going, my man? Happy Friday. Hope you have a good day. Send the love to the family, man. Hope the district does give us the $1,000 the state sent to all district employees. Let's hope. It feels as if, with campaign season right around the corner, they're going to do the typical "let's wait, let's wait, let's wait," and then say, "Look what we're doing for the employees," which is unfortunate. They're using that, the food in front of the animal, like, "Oh, oh, oh, oh." Our employees need to be valued. We need to make sure that they're well protected. We're living through very difficult times financially, emotionally. We're a lot more stressed. We're a lot more conscientious of our hygiene, of covering up, of always using antibacterial hand sanitizer. People are dying. We have an employee from Hannah High who is in the ICU. These are very difficult times. The least we can do is reward them, give them what they deserve. So BISD is announcing that they will be going to face-to-face instruction, even though that we have seen a resurgence in COVID cases in the state of Texas, throughout the world, but most importantly here in Brownsville. How much is a life worth? We did receive $185 million from the federal government this past year when they were telling us we need to come back, we need to come back. We still got that money, and half of the time, if not the majority of the time, our students were doing distant learning. And let me say this about distant learning: this is the future. Distant learning is something that's going to be the norm. We are going to get rid of these brick and mortars. That is an antiquated educational system, um, that needs to be addressed. Um, Now we see at the collegiate level how everything's online, and I understand that individuals, especially for our students, they need that face to face instruction. They're not focused at the house. We need to start preparing and looking towards the future. We need to stop babysitting. We need to start letting them know the realities of life. That once you turn 18, things get real. And for some students, unfortunately, life hits them harder in when they're young because they do not have the resources that other people do. So we need to prepare these individuals. We need to prepare these young students to use technology to get used to it because this is going to be the norm. We have seen how jobs have been functioning of allowing their employees working from home. We have seen how many big businesses are starting to do that. We don't. There are some jobs, obviously, that do need to be in person, that do need to be there. But we hope that that BISD recognizes that it's not all about the money. We are dealing with the lives of our most precious cargo, which is our students, which is our elderly employees, those employees at BISD who have underlying conditions and are scared to go back to school, are worried for their safety and well being. I thought I was wrong how BISD deleted and turned off comments. Many parents had real concerns and good questions, but BISD thought it was the best to shut them up. I did see that. I was kind of, I try to give people better than the doubt. I was like, no, people are lying. They wouldn't do that. Sure enough, the district disabled their comments, deleted some comments. As of right now, the district only allocates 3 minutes of the public to comment, to give their concern, to talk to the board, to address themselves before elected officials. 3 minutes. 3 minutes is quick when you have a pressing issue. I personally would even do 5, maybe even 7 minutes. We should not place uh, a time on individuals' concerns. They are trying to silence the voice with only having 3 minutes. But it became even more apparent, Kat, when they tried to silence the voice of parents who had genuine concerns about this press release that was shown yesterday. Parents are worried. Parents are scared because predominantly here in our area, I grew up with my grandparents, and I'm sure our BISD students do as well. And here in South Texas, we suffer from diabetes, we suffer from cholesterol, we have underlying conditions, and the we have seen how the reports have shown that our adolescents, our young children, are the ones that are getting this at a rapid pace because it is real contagious. And our youth, they're messing with their nose, they're spitting, they're what are they going? Grandma, pick me up from school because they live with their grandparents. The grandparents are the ones that pick them up after school and take them home. So I did see that, Cat. It's unfortunate. It's unfortunate that our district neglects the concerns of our community. We're dealing with a life or death crisis. Unfortunately, we shouldn't have to have our parents being shut down by BISD. We should give them the time of day. We should listen to their concerns. Where are our board members? Uh, I want my elected officials to be vocal, to be accessible. Um, maybe I'm just too. Somebody said maybe being the loudest one in the room isn't always best. I think it is. I like to make noise. Uh, it makes people pay attention uh, to the real issues. Because if we don't bring them up, who's going to? Who's going to be that thorn? It is important of us to be that voice for our community as much as possible. I've always wondered why more parents don't attend board meetings to voice concerns. Are they concerned to do it that they shouldn't be? I encourage all parents to attend the meetings next week. Um, I agree. Our parents do need to be more vocal, but at the same time, we already know what we're going to get. We're going to get the oh yes, 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 yes. We're going to do our own thing. Unfortunately, individuals once they go into that elected position, they forget about the constituents. They only remember about them whenever it's up for re-election, and we're getting around that time. Will these board members listen to the concerns and needs of our community, or will they wipe their hands and say, "Hey, it's all about the money. We need the money. How much is a life worth? We can't put it in monetary value, in my opinion. That's how much. That's how precious our employees are, and more importantly, our students are." Happy Friday, guys! I went a little off today on my little spiel. I really appreciate each and every one of you who are on. It is a small crowd, um, but we'd like to think that what we're doing is having a positive impact in our community. My grandpa always told me that we don't need to change the world. We just need to focus on our little niche of town. That's what I'm trying to do. Whether it's one, two, three, four people that watch me, um, gives me joy because we care about our community, we care about our city, we care about our district. We will do everything possible to be vocal, and that way we can get what we so desperately deserve: better voice in our local community. I think that's very, very, very important. Have a good weekend. Again, stay away from the beach if you guys have an open wound, open sore. There is a highly than normal and usual bacteria that is in the water. Our fishermen, our skippers are getting it. They are in the front lines, obviously, of being out in the water every day, so they're the first ones to get it. Unfortunately, a skipper did have his leg amputated not too long ago. Robin Hood, steal from the rich, give to the poor. If you haven't invested already, I suggest you do so. I've talked to my friend who would previously say, "Oh, I don't have that much money. Just throw down $10. Just throw down $20." We spend money on worse things. Why not invest it in our future? Maybe those $20 now could give us $200 later. And hey, for not doing nothing, something to think about. Buenos días, señor Martínez, ¿cómo está? Muchas gracias por su comentario. Espero que tenga un bonito viernes y un buen fin de semana con sus nietos. Um, Le agradecemos mucho. Gracias por su comentario. Que pase buen día. Gracias. Have a great weekend. See you on Monday. Thank you so much, Pepper and Patty. See you on Monday. Um, yes, another voice in our community. We really need it. I think we do. Um, Again, whenever things are going good, we need to encourage our individuals to keep doing the great work that we're doing. But also, whenever we see something that our community is in need of, we need to speak out. We need to be vocal as much as possible. So be careful with the beach. There is high bacteria. Robinhood, if you haven't already, make sure you invest, even if it's $10, $20, whatever it is. It's a gamble, but hey, we've all spent $20 on worse things. We do have an immigration battle. There is a standout for the federal government and our governor Abbott. He is up for re-election. He is trying to get that Republican vote of building a wall in Del Rio, and racially profiling our Hispanic people, unfortunately. Topo Chico. If you go out to if you go out to Sam's, any local supermarket that you go to, look for Topo Chico. Supposedly they are not not a lot in circulation. Um, have a great weekend, guys. Hope to see you guys on Monday. Appreciate y'all. Hasta luego.